Right now they trail 5-4. Randy Velarde at second, Ray Durham at first, one out in the bottom of the ninth. And Guardado deals. And it's a drive to left field deep. Jones going back. Looking up. It is gone. It's gone. Tahana wins it. Do you believe it? 18 wins in a row. And Braden turns. He throws. And it's swung on a ground ball to short. Taken there. Pennington's got it. He throws. A perfect game. Dallas Braden has thrown a perfect game. The A's have beaten Tampa Bay 4-0. The kid from Stockton has done it for the...
This year, Hatteberg in pinch hitting roles is 1 for 5. 269 average. Has gone deep a dozen times. Now the pitch. Swung on. There's a high drive. Hit way back. Right center field. That one is gone. And it's 20 consecutive victories for the Oakland Athletics on an unbelievable night when they lost an 11-0 lead. And now they win it. Hatteberg is bobbed at home plate. The crowd comes back to insane life. Crazy. Just plain crazy. How do you explain it? In 103 years of American League Baseball, the Athletics have accomplished what no one has before. They have won 20 consecutive games.
And there are 7 new guys. There are 34 guys taking a big sigh of relief saying, wow, after blowing an 11-0 lead, having it tied, and then a walk-off, their 5th walk-off of the year, this one by Scott Hatteberg.
Breaking ball, fly ball center field. Gutierrez going back on it. He's in the track, right to the wall. God, and we're tied! The Oakland A's, they haven't run out of miracles yet. A 2-run, straightaway, center field home run by Josh Donaldson in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they've tied it up at 4-4. Josh Donaldson on an 0-1 pitch from Wilhelmsen. A center field blast. We start all over. The fans in a frenzy with one out in the bottom of the 9th. A's 4, Mariners 4.
So the first pitch to Moss. Oh, the run! And that baby is gone. A's win it. The 14 walk-off wins. They're going to put this one right at the top.
2 on, 1 out of the 10th. The pitch swung on, driven deep right field, way back there. Oakland is the walk-off capital of baseball. Brandon Moss, a 3-run blow. The A's have done it again. Their 14th walk-off of the year. There is a mob scene waiting for Brandon Moss. He's at home plate, and the A's have come all the way back, and they've beaten the Mariners 7-4. Unbelievable. The leg kick, the pitch, changeup, hit high in the air to center. Stays in the park for Hamilton, jogging in, still coming, looking up in the bright sky, drops it. He drops the baseball. Unbelievable. Christmas home. Drew is home. Cespedes is at second base. Josh Hamilton dropped the routine fly ball. And the A's are back in front. If you think you've seen it all this season, there's an example that simply is not the case with the A's in 2012.
Cespedes hits one very high, center field. Hamilton coming in. Still coming in. And he dropped it! He dropped it! 1 run scores! 2-run score! A's lead 7-5. Hamilton dropped the ball.
game that got the A's in the postseason. And these fans, a sellout crowd announced early. No tickets available, standing room only, and that's sold out.
Fly ball, center field, Coco, ball game, Western Division. The Oakland A's have shocked the Rangers and the baseball world, and they are the AL Western Division Championship. Unbelievable!
Two out, ninth inning, 12-5 A's, no balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch to Michael Young is swung on a fly ball center field. That's going to do it. Coco is under it, drifting back. He's there, and he's got it. And the A's have won the West. And they've done it after trailing by 5 games with 9 to play. And they're going nuts. And their fans have loved every second of it.
But he has done a good job handling the different pitches.
Smith leads the second in a tie ball game. Valverde deals, and Coco, it's a base hit to right field. Smith to third, up the ball, bobbled and right by Garcia, and the A's have won it. Seth Smith scores from second, a base hit to right field by Coco Crisp. Garcia charging from right, but he bobbled the ball, and once he bobbled it, it was a moot point. The A's are going crazy, back behind the bag at first, jumping up and down, and the A's have forced a 5th game with a 3-run bottom of the 9th inning, and they beat the Tigers by the final of 4-3. And it's swung on, line to left, base hit, and the A's have won it. Cespedes scores from third, a line drive, base hit to left by Stephen Vogt, and the A's have even the series.
To deep right, toward the line, near the wall, he did it! Stephen Vogt did it! In the last game as an Athletic, he floats around the bases with a solo home run to right.
6-6, 1 out runner at second. The pitch to Brown is a line shot, fair ball down the right field line. A's are going to win the game. Around third is Baudet. Seth Brown comes through, not once, but twice late in this ball game tonight, and wins it for the A's with a drive down the right field line in the bottom of the 13th inning, and the A's have won it by the final of 7-6. Wide open stance, and now the pitch. And here it is, and Langler's a deep drive to left. If it's fair, it's gone right down the line, and gone! And the A's have won it on a towering drive into the left field corner, almost like it went right over the foul pole. Langler with his second home run tonight is a walk-off winner for the A's. 5-4 Oakland in the first game of this series on Labor Day. Now the 1-2 pitch. Here it is by Mason. He turns, he's ready, he throws, and it's swung on and hit to third. He was left up with it. Schumann, he turns, he throws, and the A's have won it. Mason Miller slams the door on the Rangers as the curtain comes down on 57 incredible years of A's baseball at the Coliseum. It's over. It is over after 57 years of thrills, of heartbreak, but always a sense of community, of fans belonging to something bigger, something special. It was baseball. It was Oakland A's baseball that brought so many people together. There's, of course, a profound sense of loss, of hurt, and yet the memories hopefully will last forever. May those memories be a blessing.
And
and you hear it in the background, the song that started in the 80s when they would win games, Celebration by Kool and the Gang, and it still rings loud, and it's great to hear on this final game here at the Coliseum. And this particular group of players that wear the Oakland uniform, wear it proudly, and it's been a great finish to what's been a lot of memories here at the Coliseum.
3-2 was the final, by the way. Want to make sure we get that in and cover some of the fundamentals here, but what a joy it's been all these years. And you know, when you do what we do for a living, you want your fans to care. In the romantic sense of what we do as broadcasters, Vince, you want that emotion. You want that emotional tie to your franchise. You want that sense of caring. And we saw it throughout this entire homestand. A's players have come out on the baseline of the third base side, waving their hats. Yeah, maybe there were just a handful of people that kind of tried to ruin things, especially in the ninth inning, but 99.99% of the people here were just great. Marcotte.
It hit me last night. I know it's been hitting us, all of us, at different times. For me, it was after the game last night. I walked into this stadium, my amazing wife dragged me down to this field, and we took it all in. Especially those who aren't coming with us. I am forever grateful. I will never forget you. And to all of you, on behalf of my staff, myself, this team, all the past players and coaches, everyone who's worn the green and gold. There are no better fans than you guys. Thank you all for loving the game of baseball. Thank you for your lifelong support of the Oakland A's. And last, I want to thank you guys for coming out to share this moment with the club that I'm so proud of. We've played our asses off this year. We still got 3 left. I think we all should pay homage to this amazing stadium that we've had the privilege and pleasure of enjoying for 57 years. And I ask you for one more time to start the greatest year in baseball. Let's go, Oakland!
Say goodbye to 57 years of baseball. And as we do so today, we close with a love letter to the Coliseum. Dear Oakland Coliseum, as the sun sets on nearly 6 decades of calling you home,
We owe a colossal debt of gratitude for being the very foundation of the memories of millions. The only concrete cavern that could provide a warm embrace. A field below sea level that elevated us to the top of the world. You were so much more than a building. You were a stage for our favorite drama.
The Oakland A's will live another day.
A school for our children and children at heart.
That's how it had to happen.
A sanctuary for those bound by reverence and more often, irreverence. Even in your old age, your walls came alive with echoes and drumbeats. Home cooking was the smell of a hot dog, and family was everyone in sight. You surrounded us with comfort during our lows and hoisted us together in our highs.
Number 939.
When we'll get them next year's, became next year is now. With moments so golden, they made it to the silver screen.
And it's 20 consecutive victories for the Oakland Athletics.
You had an imperfect flawlessness amid moments of perfection.
The kid from Stockton has done it for the A's.
It rarely rained, but when it did, it showered. At home, the sun was on our side, and we melted into your seats and curled up under blankets into the late innings and beyond. You welcomed music lovers, fans, animal and human alike. We raged deep into the night. Waves of generations. Through endless celebrations. Thank you, Oakland Coliseum.
And now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball inside corner, ring him up. Man, what a dazzling performance by Mason Miller. He strikes out the side and just untouchable once again. After 9,002 games as the Oakland A's, beginning on the 10th of April of 1968, and even though the A's were swept in this three-game series, nothing that happened here could blunt the feelings that we all felt on Thursday at the Coliseum. The love, the emotion, the passion on a day of sadness, but a day that was also a beautiful day as the A's played their last game in Oakland. And I know for Vince, there are so many emotions running through you as the A's finish their 57th season as the Oakland A's, and for you, and as we've talked here in the course of the last week or so, and it's I know a whole range of feelings you must have, and it's just been such a pleasure for me and all of us to have worked with you for all these years, man. I'm just wondering your final thoughts.
Well, today was more of a celebration, a chance to, listen to some Oak stories and kind of take people a little bit behind the curtain about why it was so joyful to do what I did sitting next to you for 19 years, and thankful to the fans and just really humbled by what they have let me know. We're a part of history, watching a team change their identity, and it's 162 games of a slow process of watching that happen. There's a finish line out there, and it kept on getting closer and closer, and next thing you knew it was right in the mirror, and it happened. This is I think for me, this 2024 team will have stories that will be told about them in a different light but still in a positive light, as opposed to what we've said all along about Reggie or like Joe Rudy or Catfish or Ricky or Eck and Stu and Raleigh and Jason and Mac and all that. I mean, they all had a chance to have special winning moments. This club had to endure a lot of things, and I think for a franchise that has had Dick Williams at the helm, Tony La Russa at the helm, Bob Melvin at the helm, and others, of course. But what Mark Kotsay had to do this year, which was much more than manage this team, he had to guide a community. And he was the man that was put at the forefront. It wasn't something he asked for. It was something that was kind of thrust upon him. And so much credit goes Mark's way for the way that he handled it. He was honest, certainly at times, but he also was trying to be positive and uplifting and understanding of the pain that people that have worn green and gold their entire lives, what they're going through, and what it means to say Oakland across the chest. I thought he did a wonderful job about that. I'm not happy I'm leaving, that I'm not coming back. I certainly want to continue to do this, and I hope our paths will cross again somewhere, but we'll deal with that down the road. Today was just a day to reflect and have some fun. Yeah. And it was a blast. Other than the outcome of the game, which would have been fun. But it was a great ride, and I'm very thankful to you, very thankful to the A's for giving me that chance, and beyond blessed with the amount of support that was sent my way, my family's way.
Yeah, it was fitting that the A's, as they mounted that comeback in the ninth inning that eventually would wind up 2 runs shy, you could hear the "Let's Go Oakland" here, and it became loud here, and it was really, really cool to hear. And this is a historic franchise, and as we've mentioned several times over this weekend, going back to 1968, the A's have the 6th best record in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3rd best in the American League. This wasn't some downtrodden franchise that spent 4 years somewhere and then moved. I mean, this is one of the more historic franchises and a historic run beginning in 1968. And just to offer some kudos and thanks, Dallaire Lewis, who heads up our broadcasting operation for both radio and TV. I know you mentioned several of these people earlier, Vince, but the gentlemen in our studio, Robert Costa and Scott Pastorino and Vince Toche, Michael J. Baird, 29 years with me, 19 with you, 30 years on A's Radio, as many as 50 years working at the Coliseum. And, Townie and the commander on A's Cast, the entire A's PR and communication staff for their help, the A's players and staff, the whole group, and the traveling party, and Mark Kotsay and Scott Emerson and Bobby Crosby, who were our 1, 2, and 3 hitters on the pregame show with our interviews, first 3 games of those series. And Michael and Patrick, our interns, were so instrumental this year as well, and all the folks who filled in for Mike, engineering when Mike was off doing the Olympics and all of his other various assignments, and all of our engineers who helped us out on the road, including Matt Harden over here in Seattle the last couple of days, Lloyd Glazer on Friday night, and I know I'm going to leave out some people, but the entire staff and group of, we mentioned earlier, so many people with the A's who work behind the scenes, and in difficult circumstances the last couple of years, let's face it,
I do want to, because as we found out, when you're not around, it takes a village.
Yeah, it takes Johnny D.
Well, Johnny D, Roxy, Guy, all the guys, Alex in the minor leagues, along with Bob Hards, Jesse in Lansing, those guys helping out with the various things. Alex just doing a wonderful job. That's a long list, and I apologize if I forget somebody. Jerry Blevins did some games with me as well, filling in. It was just a lot of fun to hear different perspectives, and in some cases having their own stories about A's baseball. And what you're talking about, the Let's Go Oakland, that'll forever be the heartbeat of this franchise, because it's something that not only we see and we certainly don't take for granted, but we've mentioned it many times when we talk to players, coaches, and managers on other teams about about what it's like, what it was like to play at the Coliseum when games mattered, when the teams are really competitive, and how difficult an environment it was for the opposition. And part of that, not just the players on the field, but the way the fans were into it from the first pitch, and doing it in such a unique way with drums and vuvuzelas and flags. It made, people want to talk about a Fenway experience or Dodger Stadium or Yankee Stadium or Wrigley Field, and they all have their special reasons for being so good. But Oakland is so unique and so special, and I'm so thankful that I got 19 years to experience what that meant to that community.
Yeah, and Jenny and Dallas and Johnny D and all of us who've been this family on A's radio and television this year, and great support from within the A's organization, and there hasn't been any meddling. We've had the freedom to tell the story for all these years, and well, the A's have a spring training game coming up on 22nd of February. We always kind of, that's a tradition that goes back decades, and, well, we can think about that during the off season, but, all right, partner.
Be well, partner.
Yeah, we'll have a good flight back to the Bay Area, and you and your awesome wife, Veronica's here, and I'm going to choke up too, man. Yeah. We go back a long time. All right, the final score was the Mariners 6 and the A's 4. From Seattle, we're going to send things back to our studios. I know Chris Townsend is standing by, and there'll be plenty of phone calls upcoming on the A's Clubhouse Show. Again, the final was the Mariners 6 and the A's 4. For all of us up here in the Northwest and on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network, stay tuned for the Clubhouse Show. And once again, the final was the Mariners 6 and the Athletics 4.
It's enough. Is time heals, and over time, things may thaw a little bit, and you may want to get back into A's baseball. We'll be here for you. A's Cast is going to move on. This show, the Clubhouse Show, is going to move on. And whether it's a year, 2 years, I know people who have just started watching Raider football again. It takes time to heal, and do it at your pace. And if you've never come back, I totally understand. And we respect you, and we thank you for what you gave us while we were here. But just know, we'll be there for you if you want to come back. And thank you for everything that you did for my family, for all of our families. I didn't want to cry, but this show's meant a lot to me. You guys have meant a lot to me. And just hearing those voices, right? Like hearing Ray, and it's hard. I get it's hard. I got an email while that was going on from who's it? Daniel, who said, "I'm sorry for melting down. It's okay, man. Change is hard. It really is. It's inevitable, though. But just know this. We love you, and all we can say is thank you. This is the last Oakland A's Clubhouse Show. Be well, everybody, and thank you for everything you've always done for us here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network."